Merle Temple. He's written 5 books, and the latest one was Blood on the Ground. Your first one was Pale.
Ghostly Shade of Pale.
Ghostly Shade of Pale. But you had been a deputy sheriff. You'd been with the narcotics unit, the state narcotics unit in Mississippi. And,
corporate security and a lot of other things too.
And what was it that made you? Had you always felt like you wanted to write?
I had written a lot of things in my life. Political speeches for candidates, op-ed pieces, technical papers, essays, and people always told me, you have a gift. You should try the Great American Novel, and so one day I did, and I found out, it's pretty hard and it's much different than anything I was used to. But I had to kind of learn that process and learn how to use descriptors. My first draft of my first book, I thought was absolutely terrible and flat and lifeless. And I went back through and began to add descriptors into each scene in the book. And when I did, the characters began to pop up off the page and began to live and breathe. And you could see what they saw and hear what they heard and feel what they felt. And if we have a common thread on most of our reviews, it's how descriptive and visual the books are, like reading a movie, one reviewer said. And
and that's what you want, is to be able to take that person there and let them get lost in the book and the story, and not be like they're sitting there reading the story. They're actually in the story, reading it.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's been quite an adventure, and we met so many people, and the books were received at the Jaffa Gate in Jerusalem by Canon Andrew White, the vicar of Baghdad. Became so famous for saving Christians in Iraq from ISIS, and ISIS put a contract out on him, and missionaries down in Nicaragua donated a set to a library down there. And we hear from people all over the country and sometimes other parts of the world who have read the books, and they say they've changed their lives, and humbling things, sometimes so tender. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I sit at my computer when I get them, and I shed a few tears.
Well, it's because you touch people, and whenever you make a difference in somebody's life, it makes you realize that what you're doing is not just writing books; you're actually touching people. Yeah. And if you can change somebody's life for the better, I mean, what better thing can you do? Do you write every day? Do you do a schedule, or do you write when it hits you?
No, I don't write every day. Somebody asked me once on interviews, said, "What do you do what they teach now in college and writing classes, and to discipline yourself and force yourself to write at least 30 minutes a day?" And I said, "Oh, no, I don't do that." I said, "If you do that, it won't be very good." And they said, "What do you do?" And so then I said, "Oh, well, I just wait till the Holy Spirit starts downloading from above, and I race to keep up, And then so on some of the secular stations, I'd get in my little plugs and everything. But that's really what I do. I wait for that, and it's always far better than anything I would ever write on my own.
Because I think that being in news, you had to write 2 stories a day. You had to get them done by a certain time.
Yeah.
So, but there was, I would always just say, Lord, help me, and help me right through this. And it was amazing the things that would come into your mind that you'd go, where did that come from? And I really do think that if you ask for help, you will get help.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that's true.
And and I don't, especially when you're creating. If I'm a journalist, you're just retelling a story that's happened, and you're trying to get all the important details in a good order, and still tell a story, beginning, a middle, and an end. But in creating a novel, you're really creating the whole thing, the characters, everything. And so sometimes it just isn't happening that day. They're not working with you. I have a number of friends who are authors, and they say the books literally take a life of their own on, and they'll tell you it's time to here the story was wanting to go again. And so it's like you said, you try to keep up then.
Yeah, all the characters, start speaking to you.
Yeah.
I like to plug my friends, too, at Southern Writers Magazine here in Memphis. They've been very good to me, and this, in the January edition, there's an article in there, me with my youngest reader, who's 10.
Oh, wow.
She is just an extraordinary little girl, and I hope I live long enough to see what God has planned for her. She is so smart, and she begged to read Deputy, and they finally let her do it. And but it's called The Author Goes Back to School, and it details all my visits to schools and all the kids I interact with and the things they ask me. You know, Earl, they're hungry for truth. They're hungry for absolutes, for somebody to tell them the truth and to challenge them. And we just have a great time. That's my favorite thing to do.
It is. What age group kids do you talk to usually?
Well, usually I go in high school, college, and some middle schools. And occasionally I go into elementary schools, even though the books are a little advanced for most of them. But I go in there because, you know, it's like Meet an Author Day. And I just love the little bitty kids because they say whatever comes into their mind. They have no filter, and they're so honest, you know. And I went into one in Destin, Florida, and fourth graders, they were writing their own little books, and they had me built up to be a cross between Faulkner and Hemingway or something. And I came in, and I said, well, hi, kids, how y'all doing? And one little boy over in a corner said, I'm inspired already. And a little girl here on the side said, I was so excited. I was so excited about you coming. I was jumping all over my house. And my mama just couldn't keep me still. And then we were lined up for autographs. And I looked down. There's a little bitty girl down here standing with her arms reached up to me. And she said, can I have a hug?
Wow.
And I walked out. I looked at the principal. And I said, I should be paying you to come in here.
Well, the thing about it is there's such good people at that age.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a friend that had been a news reporter and a lawyer and ended up teaching grade school. And I said, teaching grade school, man? What are you doing that? He goes, there's such good people at that age.
Oh, yeah.
Then you go spend a whole day with really nice, genuine people, and it really changes your whole life. And he said, it's the best job I ever had, was teaching grade school.
Oh, yeah. I love teachers. We have some great friends. And one lady's down in Florida, she's using deputy and senior English as a companion read to Kill a Mockingbird. That was humbling and everything. But I'd like to tell people also, check out my website if you want to take a look at the books and some of the reviews. It's www.merletemple.com, MERLETEMPLE.com.
And don't forget this coming, the second, which is what, Friday?
No, Saturday.
Saturday
at 2.
At Novel, he'll be signing his books. And if you have his earlier editions, bring those. You'll sign the
Oh,
other
sure,
books.
yeah. A lot of people do that. They come to signings with books they've got off of Amazon or something.
And you're under contract in Hollywood. Are some of these being turned into movies?
They're trying to, yeah. Well, they were decided to go for a TV series. Thought we could do it quicker than movies take, like maybe 10 years, if you're lucky. And they're much more likely to trash them up. You know, have Michael, the character based on me, doing things I wouldn't want to see him doing.
Well, it was like Grisham. I mean, because I talked to him, we interviewed him once, and he said, once you sell your book to Hollywood, it ain't your book anymore.
That's right.
And they can do whatever they want to. And he said, it ain't always good.
Well, in the contract I signed, I'm technical advisor.
But you can advise. That doesn't mean they have
That's
to take
right.
your advice.
I'll just be the grumpy old man in the back who'll be standing there going, excuse me, I'd have never said that.
Yeah. And that's when you get banned, Mr. From coming on the set because he's advising. And we told him we don't want any more of his advice. But it was good seeing you, Merle Temple. And once again, he's going to be at February the 2nd, Saturday at 2 o'clock at the Novel. He'll be signing all his books. And come back and see us. Let us know how it's all going.
Oh, I'd love to. And I'll book us in down at Tunica, Earl and Merle.
Yeah. I hope you got some talent because I don't have any. It's also, and you mentioned Marlowe's. Do you still stop by there and sign stuff at Marlowe's?
Sometimes I do. I've been there a couple of times. They're nice folks. And hi, Debbie Faye Brown, my friend down there. Hi, Debbie.
Yeah, and Joe Kathy Elkington works down there.
Yeah, I know her
shop.
too. She's
Yeah.
my Facebook friend too.
She's one of mine. Watches the show, so got a lot of friends at Marlowe's. I love Marlowe's. They got some great food down there.
Oh yeah, really do. Nice people.
You know, that was the only place that still opened food wise for when Elvis lived there. They never did selling barbecue, but they did send some sandwiches and pizza down there. So that's their connection.
Yeah, it's a great place.
Merle Temple, thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Take a quick break, then we'll be back.